And it is Brad, right?
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Petri Dish. We are here in Chicago at VeeamON, and apparently Matt is also here at VeeamON. Matt, what brings you to Chicago?
Hey Brad, thanks. I'm here in Chicago for the VeeamON conference, and so far it's been fantastic. Hear a lot of good news about hyper availability and what Veeam's doing to push different products out there and really meet the needs of the market. So it's been exciting so far.
Gotcha. And so let's just kind of dive into who you are. What is it that you do? What is your company? Why are you here? What are you hoping to get out of this show?
Yeah, great. So my company is Offsite Data Sync, and I guess officially I'm Matt Chesterton, the CEO of Offsite Data Sync. We're a platinum partner and actually partner of the year this year for the second year running with Veeam. And what that means is we provide Veeam solutions to the cloud. So that's Cloud Connect, so Veeam Cloud Connect backup if you're in the industry. You probably know what that term is, as well as DRaaS solutions. What I think is really interesting this year is really the shift toward protecting, Veeam would call it any cloud, but public cloud, private cloud, kind of the mix of both, as you know, a hybrid cloud. So that's been a real theme this year, and it's been our focus and kind of how we're shifting and pivoting on the market. So it's exciting. It's an exciting time. Yeah. Scary in some ways. How's it going to look at the end, or what's it going to be in a couple of years? But it's good. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, as any industry does, everything is always rapidly evolving. You have new fads that come online, you have new technologies, new trends, hyperconverged, and all these good stuff. So I'm going to go out on a limb here, but your name is Offsite Data Sync. I'm going to go with that's what you guys specialize in.
That's exactly what we specialize in. So yep, you got it right.
Good. I would be a little concerned if you guys did something else, like if you sold cotton candy. But what's your special sauce? Why would somebody come to you as opposed to, say, anybody else?
Yeah, good question. So I think the real home run for us is that we are focused on backup and DRaaS, that if you're looking for that skill set, if you're looking for the orchestration of recovery, and Veeam would call this hyper availability, we're your go-to company. So that is it. That's the sole focus of what we do. Obviously we offer so backup, disaster recovery, and infrastructure as a service, because when of course you fail over into our environment, you're running a production workload. So it's the expertise in that, and also being able to protect a dynamic workplace, dynamic workloads in public cloud as well as on-prem servers and workstations.
Can we dive into that a little bit? How do you guys protect it? How does that process work?
Yeah, so I'll jump in on the Veeam side of things. Essentially, you're probably used to a traditional Veeam setup where there's an on-prem Veeam installation. We take it from the on-prem piece and obviously make sure everything to the off-site location. We operate out of Tier 4 data centers domestically and internationally. So we make sure that the data that's on-prem meets the 3-2-1 rule and is pushed off-site to one of our cloud locations or both of our cloud locations. Now to step in a little bit further, instead of just moving data off-site, because the market of course is demanding data protection, but also availability of applications. If you ask a CEO what they're trying to accomplish, it's not back up my data, it's keep my email always up and running. So as we dig deeper into DRaaS, that's the idea, so that an Exchange server goes down, or maybe it's O365 and we're protecting that, but it's really toward the goal of keeping applications always available and always on. People just can't tolerate downtime any longer.
Yeah, no, it's the difference between a successful company and unsuccessful. I think we all know, I shouldn't say we all know, we all worry about going offline for 12, 24 hours. In today's society, that's just not acceptable anymore.
Yeah, it's frustrating. It hurts reputations. It could be a litigation problem, just depending on what the industry is and what kind of data, what kind of applications.
Got SLAs and all that good stuff.
Yes, exactly. So it's been a real home run for us, just this market and the place where it's going.
Gotcha. Let's talk about your customers for a little bit. What is your ideal customer? When do people come to you? Where do you fit into the workflow cycle for an IT pro?
Yeah, so customer base, it's all over the place in a sense, but the niche, if I had to kind of pull it out, would be legal, medical, financial, where there's compliance-based initiatives.
Sure.
Really helps for us that our data centers are in Tier 4 facilities. Because that meets the needs of course, compliance, whether it's HIPAA or, of course, you've heard a lot about GDPR.
Yeah, so just a little bit.
Yeah, so we fit really well in that space. I forget the second part of what you asked, but I think really the demand and what customers are looking for is that type of compliance in getting their data and applications in a fully functional running state where they can just carry on business as usual without having to worry about what their data protection suite is or how they're keeping things up and running.
Gotcha. Let's just take a step back here. What are the trends that you're seeing in the industry? Obviously, you're working in a very unique environment, and you have a different perspective than somebody like myself who typically just looks at the 10,000-foot view. What are the trends that you're seeing in the industry?
Yeah, so at VeeamON, of course, there's been some great breakout sessions. The keynote speakers for both the partner day and the general keynote hit on some points where data is getting a lot more distributed. So again, I'm alluding to public cloud and private cloud, even software as a service applications like O365, SharePoint, OneDrive. So what we're seeing is, as far as a trend on the market, isn't just your traditional cloud type setup. It's where the data is residing, whether it's software as a service, on-prem, and what we're seeing more organizations move to is a model where they're putting different tiers of data or different services of data in a different or in different clouds or different ways to deliver and consume that. So that's the real trend, and I think we're really seeing it this year. There's some unknown from the customer side to say, we don't know what our email is going to look like. We're not sure what SQL is going to look like. Is it going to be hosted? Is it going to be a platform as a service application? So there's really that tone or that undertone of, we're not sure how data protection is going to look, how availability is going to shake out in the long term. And I find it exciting. I'm a geek, so I really get into the technology, and I think Veeam is really helping us, enabling us to protect workloads wherever they may be, and work on the availability suite in whatever that's going to look like over the next 6 months, year, 2 years down the road.
Yeah, and if there's no other trend, the one thing we do know is there will be more data tomorrow than there is today, and it's all going to be valuable, and all still needs to be available no matter what.
Yeah, and Peter McKay, again, hit a great statistic the other day saying in 2 years, I think it was, they were projecting or expecting 10x the amount of data there is today. What an incredible number.
Wow.
So I don't know where they get their info, but it's probably research-based from one of the big companies doing research, but quite a trend.
Yeah, I mean, it's not so hard to imagine where that's going to come from, because you look at autonomous vehicles. You've got IoT edge type things happening, and that's all just kicking out just data every single, I mean, heck, there's things on my wrist that are kicking it out now. And it's data is only going to become more pervasive, and it's got to go somewhere, and it's got to be replicated, and it's got to be accessible.
Yeah, yep, exactly. It's incredible, the number of things that are connected to the internet, what you want to be connected to the internet, and the amounts of data it's generating. So I don't know if it was even seen 5 years ago, probably not.
Yeah.
So it's pretty incredible.
It really, really is.
Full time.
It is, and that's kind of one of the things. There was a saying that says data is the new oil, and as we take every step every single year, there's more data, and it's hard to ignore it. And fortunately for you, it's got to go somewhere, and it's got to be backed up, because I don't think enough people put enough effort into their backups until it's too late.
Yeah, yep, exactly, and we're finding that. I think it's people try, but with a dynamic workplace, what's it going to look like, and what should they commit to? And that speaks a lot to the consumption model too. Long gone are the days of, this is my platform and this is how I'm going to protect the data. It changes. Not quite monthly, but on a very frequent basis, that maybe you're going to move it here, or maybe you're going to do that with it, or maybe this only exists on my phone for some reason.
Sure.
So it's interesting.
Yeah. If people want to find out more about you, about the services you offer, where is the best way to contact you, or what's the best way to go about that?
Right, to learn more about us, probably the best way is right on our website. So it's offsitedatasync.com, or emailing us directly at sales@offsitedatasync.com. We can provide any kind of information.
Cool. Well, we very much appreciate you stopping by and letting us know what's going on in your world. And folks, that wraps it up for another episode of the Petri Dish. You can find out more about them at their website, or go to petri.com for the latest. Thanks for tuning in.